Guys, I am on a marathon right now. I still haven't eaten. It is 2:32 right now. I'm so hungry. My body is like saying, "Feed me." But I'm trying to feed y'all this good stuff. We're almost done. We're almost there. So we're talking about being impressive with the little details, the small stuff. Shout out to my wife. She's like out here impressing me. Last night, I'm waiting for her to come in to the barn here, the barn. I've got, a little projector screen here. The projector's right there. I got a little setup. It's a nice little like man cave, and I want my wife to come and hang out with me. And she's like, I'll be right there. I'm doing something. I'm like, what is she doing? Like, kids are down for the night. You know what she's doing? She's cleaning out the refrigerator and labeling certain areas of our refrigerator so we can like have everything organized. I was like, wow, I am so impressed. Now, I mentioned that to her as a thing that would be impressive, so it's cool that she did it, and be even more impressive if she's doing it on her own. But like, it's impressive when people just do things that you suggest they do. I am going to be impressed with you when I find out that you did all of the things I suggest in this course. That is impressive. I don't care if it was your idea or not. If someone else had an idea and then you execute on it, it's impressive. So, we're talking about impressing your teachers. You want to impress your teachers. Everyone makes a big deal. It's like, oh, I want to be the teacher's pet. Yeah, you do. You want to be the teacher's pet. I mean, not like in a weird, like you're kissing the teacher's butt kind of way, but kinda, yeah. Kinda, yeah. Kinda, yeah, you want to be the teacher's pet. Very easy to impress a teacher. Easy. Sit in the front of the class. You should always sit in the front of the class. For one, it's great because the teacher sees that you care. Two, you're creating a massive buffer between you and the people who actually do not care. The people in the back of the class, they don't care. They're trying to hide. They don't want to be called on. They want to be able to do like other things that are distracting themselves from what's happening at the front of the class. Be at the front of the class. Be at the front of the class. I have a story in mind about being in the front of the class. I'm not going to share this story because, there's a different age range. I feel like I'm not going to share this story, but I sat at the front of the class as frequently as possible. I had a crush. You know what? Yeah, I had a crush on my teacher. I'll tell the story. I had a crush on my teacher. She was my 9th grade Spanish teacher. And the funny thing about it is I walk into class and she's like, hola, ¿cómo está? I don't know what she said, but she basically said, welcome to Spanish 1. And I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be in Spanish 2. Because I took Spanish 1 in the 8th grade. So I sit in the class, and after class was over, class was almost over. We had 5 minutes left. I raised my hand. I was like, Senora Henry, can I leave early to go to the office so I can change my schedule? Because I'm supposed to be in Spanish 2, so I just want to change to your Spanish 2 class. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. You can leave early, but I'm sorry, I don't teach Spanish 2. And I was like, no, you don't teach Spanish 2. She didn't teach Spanish 2, so I left early and I was walking to the office to change my class. And then I just took a detour and I didn't go to the office. And I was like, I took Spanish 1 all over again. That was like that was the only time I was truly a teacher's pet. I knew all of the answers and I answered questions every class. And I was in the front and in the middle. She'd sit on my desk sometimes and I was just like, oh, Senora Henry. Everyone loved her. Like everyone was just like on this, like what a great experience. I mean, the only class I ever repeated, I mean, I didn't fail any classes, but I repeated that one because of an administrative error and because of young, dumb love. But anyway, I digress. I sat at the front of the class all the time. Whether I thought the teacher was attractive or not, I sat at the front of the class. You answer questions, but not too many, unless you're in a Senora Henry type situation. But like, don't answer too many questions. I would say don't answer any more than 2 questions every other class. Like, you don't want to answer a question every class because that's just weak. That's just not, I mean, that's too much. It's like you're trying way too hard. Um, and sometimes you'll have teachers that just aren't really that good, and they'll be desperate for someone to help them out. In those cases, like that's where I might break the rule. Like my copyright teacher in law school, like she was bad, and she's like just desperate because like the whole law school class experience is about the Socratic method, which basically is like it's a question and answer kind of thing. It doesn't work if people aren't engaged. In like high school, like you can just talk at people. In law school, you can't. It doesn't work. So I'd engage. I'd help her out a lot. And I'm not saying you should do that in high school. That's too far. I mean, I know I'm telling you to do things that like seem lame, but like you can go too far. That's too far. Do your homework to completion. Do it all. Full effort. Study for your tests. Shoot for all A's. Be a benefit to the class, okay? I'll give you an example of a time where I was a benefit in class and I also was a detriment. I took away from class. I added, but I took away. So I loved art. I grew up making art. I was in like the gifted and talented art class when I was in the 5th grade and 6th grade. What that meant was they would send me to the high school. So I went to school earlier than everyone else. And I'd go to high school on the bus with a bunch of, 9th and 10th graders. And I was like in the 5th and 6th grade. And I'd go to class and I'd do art in Miss Kusenberger's class. And it was great. Like, she was awesome. She played her soft rock music, which I'm sure none of you all know what it is. But I think if you look up a soft rock playlist on Spotify or Apple Music, you actually might like it. It was old for me. I was like, this is weird, but it felt right. It's just like a good art creation vibe. And so I was like, I loved art. And then I got to junior high and they didn't have advanced art class. So now I'm stuck with all these kids who don't care about art. They're just there because they're there. And there was a guy, I'm not going to say his name, but he sat next to me and he was like, and like he just didn't care. Actually, let me back it up real quick. So this is like probably way too much story for this, but like whatever. I want you to understand how into like school I was. So I'm in this class. It's not advanced. They don't have an advanced class. So I go to my teacher, Mr. Tinker, and I said, Mr. Tinker, these assignments are like beneath me, to be perfectly honest. And this is a good example here. If you're in a class where you don't feel challenged, don't just, resign yourself to boredom. Tell the teacher, this is beneath me. Like, give me something more. Give me a challenge. So I said, I don't want to do these assignments because this is not making me better as an artist. And he's like, well, is there something else you'd like to do? I was like, yeah, actually, can I paint a mural on the cabinets over there? And he's like, yeah. So I painted a mural of like Wolverine fighting Spider-Man. It was awesome. Like, I painted this giant like set of cabinets, like multiple cabinets with like my favorite comic book characters. I love comic book characters, by the way. I love Wolverine. Spider-Man's my favorite. Wolverine's the second favorite. Iron Man's probably the third. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. Whatever. So I'm in class. I'm doing my stuff. And so it's Monday. Mr. Tinker's given the assignment to the class. And I'm not really paying attention because I already know what my assignment is. It's paint the mural. And this guy next to me is all like, he gets his assignment and he gets done with this before class is over. And he's like, hey, I'm already done with my assignment for the week. And I was like, cool, man. And he's like, what do you think about it? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, what kind of grade do you think I'm going to get? And I was like, I'd give you an E for effort. And he got upset. Probably shouldn't have said that. He hit me on my shoulder. And I was like, ugh, I don't like that. I'm not a horseplay kind of guy. I don't hit people. Don't be a horseplay kind of person, because it's just a good way to get yourself into a fight, because at some point someone takes the horseplay too far. So he hits me and I was like, ugh, and I hit him back, and then he hits me again, and next thing and then I'm like, wow, he hit me really hard. So I shove him and he falls out of his chair, and next thing you know, we're fighting under the desk. Teacher screaming, guys, stop it. And then the woman next door, another art teacher, runs in, and she's pretty big. She like pulls us apart, and we go to the principal's office. And I'll just put it this way: the lawyer that I did not know I was going to be a lawyer, but it was in me at that point. And I said to him, I was like, hey, person who I'm not going to name, there's a zero tolerance policy in Texas. Do you know what that means? And he's like, no. And I was like, well, I'm going to tell you. It means that if you get in a fight, no matter who started the fight, you both have to go to court, and you have to pay a fee, a fine, like a court fee. It's like $200. And I was like, my parents don't have $200 for a court fee. I was like, do your parents have $200 for a court fee? He's like, no. I was like, great. So here's what's going to happen. Like, no one got hit because they didn't see us. We were under the table, pushing, shoving, grabbing, wrestling, no hitting. And he's like, all right. And I mean, I'm not advocating lying, y'all. I am not a liar. I do not lie. But in that moment, I lied. I did. I felt like it was justified, because I think the law, the zero tolerance law, is stupid. So it was a protest lie. And so the principal, Miss Carter, she's like, so, did anybody get hit? Nope. Are you sure? Like, what's going on in his face? And I was like, oh, I was just grabbing him. And I got suspended. And this is a very long story that you probably don't even need to listen to, but I really want you to just keep in mind how much I cared about school. And it wasn't for show. It wasn't to get like credit. It wasn't to get special extra credit, except for in the case of Senora Henry. It was not for special extra credit. It was because I actually cared. I wanted to be there. I had passion for what I was doing. I found something there. It might not be for art for you. It might be like woodworking class, or it might be, home ec, or you might love physics or whatever it is, but like, show some passion and desire and energy for what you're doing, to the point where you're not going to allow someone to copy off of your test or your homework. You're going to do your work, and it's for you. And like, you take pride in it. Okay. I'm getting intense about this, but like, I might end up, no, I'm not going to rip my shirt off, but like, I want you guys to find something about what's happening at that school and get passionate about it. And if you hate school, get passionate about what can happen if you get passionate. Like, imagine all the things that you can do with your life if you learn how to get passionate about things that you're not passionate about. If you can find energy for something that kind of like drains you. Like, what a superpower. It's kind of like what I was talking about before. Gaining energy from suffering, from pain. Pain now, pain later. Like, in your mind, like, I am going to love the pain now so I can avoid the pain later. You can be passionate about that. So I'm going to jump off this story. It's a long, long, long story. But look, why would you do these things? It's going to lead to better grades. It's going to lead to better opportunities in your life. You're going to be smarter. You're going to be more disciplined. You're going to be more focused. You're going to have more opportunities come your way, because people are going to see you as a person who is serious, who stands on business, who shows up and doesn't waste their time or other people's time. And also, guess what? The teachers are going to be singing your praises behind your back. And what does that do for you? Coaches are also teachers, y'all. Coaches are also teachers. Most places, the coach has to also teach. So they're friends and the teachers talk. And, there's nothing better than to have someone singing your praises, someone who's adjacent to the thing that you care about, football. When the teachers are talking good about you behind your back, the coaches will hear, they will take note, and they're going to be like, wow, that's impressive. We have 0 other guys on this team where teachers are just singing the praises of that person. I'm telling you, it works. I've done it. It works. I was in the top 6% of my class. I could have been higher, but football definitely took a lot, of my attention, and also art. Like, I cared about more than like having the best grades. But like, it makes a difference. And also, by the way, if you can't pass your classes, you're not going to be on the team. So, you may as well, do your best as opposed to just get by. Because if you're just getting by in the classroom, you're going to just be getting by on the field. And unfortunately, getting by on the field looks like I'm on the team, but I don't play. And we don't want that. All right. Last little thing, a tip for the parents. Get those teachers gift cards. If you've got the extra money to spend on a trainer, save the money, invest it in a little bit of it into gift cards for teachers, because teachers are just underappreciated and they're going to remember that. Imagine, and when you give it to the teacher, parent, you put it in a little card, and then student, kids out there listening to this, you write a little note. Just express gratitude to the teacher. I really appreciate everything you're doing for me. Like, I really appreciate you showing up for me. I know that you guys are underappreciated, and like, this is just a little gift from me and my parents because we appreciate what you did. You write it yourself in a way that's legible. Legible meaning like they can read it. Your handwriting is not trash. Like, so work on the handwriting and give it to them in private. After class is over and all the kids are gone, don't let anybody see it, because you don't want to be labeled as a teacher's pet. But the teacher is going to be touched by your gesture, by your generosity, by your thoughtfulness, singing those praises. Like, oh, wow, Johnny is so amazing. So look, I'm just saying, it might sound corny, it might sound lame, it might sound insignificant, but I'm telling you now, it works. It works. It works. It works. And it really works when you need the teacher to give you the benefit of the doubt, when the grade is subjective, when it's like English class or you're in your calculus class and the teacher wants you to show your work and they're like, you know what? They could be like, I'll tell you what, Billy. Are people named Billy anymore? So if there's a Billy out there, shoot me a message if your name's Billy. I love it. Billy did not show his work the way I'd like him to, but man, he's just such a strong participant in this class. And man, he's like literally buying me off with gifts. Like, I'm going to overlook the fact that he didn't do this exactly the way I wanted because he got the answer right, but I'm just going to overlook it. I mean, nothing wrong with a little extra boost, right? A little favor. Get that. Get it. It's easy. All right. We're done. I was a long one. I thought it was going to be short. It never is. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not sorry. I am trying to dump incredible value on y'all. I want to give you everything. And I know I'm still leaving stuff out, but I'm trying my best to just squeeze it all in without like boring you to death. So hopefully you're not bored. Thank you again for being here. I really appreciate your investment in yourself and the money that you paid me, but I appreciate the investment in yourself. You are literally laying the foundation for a better world. My kids are going to grow up to be in a better world because of the things that you're doing. My kids are much younger, but you are going to be the leaders that they look up to. I am excited about that. And you're going to be the leaders that lead this world when I'm, I'm never going to retire, but when I'm kicking back and, doing a little less. All right. See you in the next video. We're almost done, y'all. We got 2 more videos.